All right, so tightener nodes can then provide access to one or more DOMs. So if you have a tightener node compiled into an InDesign plugin, that could provide access to an InDesign DOM. Um, Tightener nodes also have other little services. For example, they all have an echo service, which is something I use for debugging. So one node can ping another node and see if it get a response. So that's not a DOM service, but so there is not necessarily just one service per node. There might be multiple, but mostly what we would be most interested in is essentially DOM nodes, DOM services within tightener nodes. These DOMs look like objects with attributes. So if you do JavaScript or ExtendScript or you know JSON, it's that kind of stuff. So it's like an object thing with properties or attributes. These properties can themselves be objects or arrays. So there's arrays or objects, and they can be nested to as many levels as we want. So that's how tightener nodes present their DOMs. And the whole idea is that you can query those DOMs remotely. So one node can query a DOM in another node. Now, the issue is that there is always some latency between tightener nodes. So if I have a command line node and it interacts with an InDesign plugin node, there will be some turnaround time. So I'd send my commands and that needs to go through the named pipes. The InDesign node needs to reply and send it back. There's always some latency. So in order to reduce that latency, you want to actually formulate a body of work, like a number of things that the remote node needs to do for you, and put it into a little script and essentially shoot that script over to the node, and it executes it and sends it back. So rather than do command by command interaction, tightener thinks about packages of work, and so this is contrary to how, for example, AppleScript works. So in AppleScript, there is this latency between if you execute a line of AppleScript, it actually needs to go through some latent mechanism before it reaches the application where it is executed, and then the result goes back. So each line of AppleScript, there's this ping pong between the AppleScript realm and an application realm that you're interacting with. So, and that actually builds up latency. So it makes it really slow. So that's why AppleScript is so much slower than ExtendScript, because ExtendScript runs inside of InDesign, for example. And so there's no latency when you run line by line of ExtendScript. Whereas with AppleScript, the same script will be a lot slower. Same issue with tightener. So in order to fix that, so I have created this language called Tickle. And Tickle is very similar to JavaScript. So at first blush, it looks like JavaScript, but it is simpler. So I might extend it as I go, but right now I've just put in the basics that I really needed. So it has objects, it has properties, it has functions, it has callbacks, it has asynchronous stuff, but it doesn't have classes or property. No, it's not properties, prototypes at this point. So, and the whole thing is self-contained within tightener. So there is no external language to be pulled into tightener. It's just all hard-coded into tightener. It's a little language within tightener. Another feature of Tickle, which is part of the reason why I started, is that it has query facilities for those object attribute data models. So you can essentially write query strings, and they are similar to how XPath works. The only thing is that they work on these object attribute constructs. So that's two reasons for Tickle.